Well, okay, children. Your wish is my command. Or perhaps I should say, be careful what you ask for. I'm going to create a video explaining graphical limits, or how to find a limit from a graph. So, we've looked at limits from a table of values, and so now we're going to look at it from a graph, which of course the table of values could be put on a graph. The limit talks about what a function is approaching at a particular x location. And so we're going to look at what it is approaching, not necessarily what it is equal to, but only about what it is approaching when it is asking to find a limit. So here we've got a graph, and we're going to answer these questions at the bottom. Well, the first one is not a limit notation at all. It is specifically asking you for this function, and this function is labeled f of x. It's asking you for the function with a value of 1 for x. What is the function value? We did this back in Unit 8 in the second standard. You would go to the graph and you would look where x is 1, which is right here. What is its function value? The function value is 0. So f of 1 equals 0. Now this notation for b is something different. It is the limit. So if I'm reading this problem, it's the limit as x is approaching 1. This little notation here means from the left only of the function f of x. So I'm looking at positive 1, which is again here, but only from the left-hand side. Well, the left of 1 is over here. That is the left of 1. So what y coordinate? It's asking what y coordinate when x is approaching 1 from the left. What y coordinate is it approaching? From the left, it's approaching, well, we'll go with this being 1. C. Almost the same thing, but it's asking what is it approaching. The limit is approaching from x approaching 1 from the right. Well, here's 1 from the right. You're following this line. Where is that approaching? Well, that's approaching negative 1. D. D is saying what is the limit as x is approaching 1. Doesn't specify from the right or the left. That means you have to approach from both sides, right and left. Well, we just approached from the left, just approached from the right, so we've already looked at it from both sides. Can you tell me what is it approaching at 1? Well, if it's approaching positive 1 from the left, say
what the limit is approaching at 1. Therefore, the limit does not exist.
I cannot give a definite number that it is approaching. I could give a function value at 1, that was 0, but I can't say what it's approaching at 1. E. What's this mean? It means the same thing it meant in A, only we're looking when x is 3. X is 3, right about here. What is the function value at 3? Well, not the open circle, because there's no value right there. The function value is 2. The limit as x is approaching 3 from the left of this function. Here's 3. Where is it approaching from the left? Follow the line until the x value is at 3. What y value is it approaching? It is approaching positive 1. Let's look at what x is approaching when x is approaching 3 from the right-hand side. That means we're following down from the right-hand side. Here's 3. What is it approaching? Oh, it's approaching positive 1 for a y value. H asks us, what is the limit as x is approaching 3? Not from the right, not from the left. Specifically, that means from both sides. Well, from the left, we just found out it was approaching positive 1. From the right-hand side of 3, we found out it's approaching positive 1. Therefore, the limit as x is approaching 3 is the same from the left, same from the right. It must be that value of 1. Let's finish up here with limit as x is approaching negative 2. Again, doesn't specify right or left, therefore we have to look at both sides. There's negative 2. Where's it approaching from the left? Well, it's approaching negative 2 on the y value. Where's it approaching from the right? It's approaching the y value of negative 2. Since it's approaching the same y value, that y value is negative 2. What about the limit as x is approaching 0? That's right here at the origin, the x 0. What's it approaching from the left-hand side? Well, from the left of 0, it's approaching right about maybe a little less than 1.9. What about from the right? Where's it approaching there? This is from the left to 0. Where's it approaching from the right? It's approaching the same value. We don't know exactly what that is. We could say it's approximately 0.9. And one last one. The limit as x is approaching negative 3 doesn't say from the left or the right. So we have to look at it from both sides. Here's negative 3. From the left, it's approaching what y value? 0. From the right, it's approaching what y value? 0. Since they are the same from the left and from the right of this x of negative 3, and they were both 0, then the limit of x approaching negative 3 on the function f of x is 0.